That doubles as an amiibo. What?
So it's pronounced Euro.
You don't even like Euros that much.
I've had like 2.
You've had 2, and both times you got them without the sauce. Which is, you know.
Well, I don't think you were there for the second one.
Oh, well, I was there for the first one. I know that
you were there
much.
for the first one.
Hey, how about we get into it? Jordan is back and going up against Z3. LVD versus DRiP. If you go to tournaments in the South, you've heard of these organizations.
100%.
Now you get to see them throw down.
Absolutely. It is a Texas-style throwdown showdown.
In winter semis, by the way. I mean, these two, we expected them to go very deep, but there were a lot of big wins that had to happen along the way.
Yeah, Z3 definitely had a stellar run. Jordan, I feel like showing up and catching anybody who just hasn't been paying attention very unaware.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, looked at the brackets tonight and went, who's Jordan and why are they seeded number 3? Well, this is why. Jordan is an incredible player if you haven't heard. I mean, in contention for best in Louisiana. I know that has wins on basically everybody in Louisiana.
Yep.
Kirby Kid, Size, C, Falcon, you name it. But now it's Z3 in the driver's seat, which I think is kind of to be expected in this matchup.
Right. Wario does have a lot of nifty tricks to get in and bait the opponent to swinging, and it does kind of rely on the opponent wanting to interact with Wario in a lot of ways, whereas with Young Link and the way the Z3 is approaching it, gonna sit back and not deal with the air drift mix-ups at all by just tossing that boomerang, toss the arrows, and then shoot. If Wario wants to jump at me, that's his funeral.
That's the problem for Wario in many matchups where it's available, is that Z3, if you watch Texas tournaments, you know that she's rather happy to pepper you with projectiles all game, and that is what happens until you're just in that juicy kill percent to just throw out one good move.
As she should be, honestly. If you're approaching with this character.
Can we talk about how Nair outspaced the Young Link down air, which is a sword? Can we talk about that?
Well, I mean, sometimes things just happen.
Or is that like one of the Fight Club rule ones? Like we don't talk about Wario Nair.
Wario Nair is, he gets like little wings, if you think about it, which, you know, like as a concept.
Oh, buenos dias.
Buenos dias, man.
Buenos dias, Young Link. And you know, again, the one downside to the way that Z3 is playing this matchup is that, yes, this is going to be very safe, right? You're not likely to let the Wario get too close to you. You get yourself set up for waft, and honestly, Jordan was right to not pull it off right there, because if Z3 goes to the left, you probably moved up.
That was it Z3 or Zai who played against Skits earlier today?
It was Z3, and you gotta imagine that that has already taken hold in the brain, the danger of that waft.
Right, I believe there was a stellar waft in that set, and already a good waft to start off. And as you were mentioning, it is rather relevant. The waft, because of the slow pace, gameplay, you will see a lot of time for that waft to build up multiple full wafts, which usually is not normal.
You don't even need the full waft,
no.
Right? Like, even if you're just playing it just slow enough to get a half waft, which I don't think Jordan has yet. And we'll probably not get a confirm into it, but that still gives you, a hard read option going into, like 2 minutes 30.
Yeah, I feel it pertinent to mention the multiple full wafts, because that means you have actually tons of half wafts. Even more opportunities to go for the little ones.
Jordan now just trying to get off the ledge, which is, honestly, Z3 I've noticed is very good at keeping on corner pressure, but not the best at actually ledge trapping. It's really interesting, and that is honestly a thing for Young Link, is that it's kind of harder to hit the ledge than it is to just kind of keep you pestered in the corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of options to like stifle the movement, but not a lot to just like lock you down in that one position.
Oh! That was such a big whiff on that down air, but Jordan didn't react in time. Nair almost taking it across the stage.
Right. I do love Z3's willingness to box there in that situation. Like, you got hit by really late, weak forward air, but even with all its rage, that is not a confirm by any means.
I mean, you know that this late into a stock, you know you've gotten some mileage when Young Link down tilt doesn't even combo anymore.
No.
that should combo forever. And
Young Link down tilt looking like it might be a kill move.
Oh my gosh! You were talking about the relevance of 2 full wafts, and it was not only that you could get multiple half wafts, but the fact that that hard read now becomes a hard read with super armor, and it's not even that much of a read. It's just the call out saying, right, you went low.
Yeah, from that position, it really was just option cover. Hey, my opponent has no jump. They're off stage. She's got to recover at some point. In comes, like
There's
you
no
mentioned,
bomb
the
for a
super
mix-up.
armor. Yeah.
So you can't get past it. And
Big
the beauty of it,
the recovery is pretty much very linear.
yeah. So it's just hard for some people to challenge, but that doesn't matter when you have armor. So we'll see the change stage up to Northern Cave for Game 2, potentially making it a lot harder for Jordan to track Z3 down without mid-stage platforms, and also giving Z3 a good escape zone when that Wario tries to pressure you, because while he can cover that platform, if you're already up there, you can just leap right over the floating. I hesitate to call Wario a human, but he's not particularly, you know,
the demon.
He is a demon, yeah, a raging demon.
You don't have to refer to him as a human, but you can refer to him as a libertarian. Was that determined?
No.
Was that the debate?
The debate thread was locked after multiple thousands of pages of heated debate, and there is no debate right now that Jordan is looking hot with that early stock, just a minute into the game.
Yeah, definitely looking solid, and kind of diminishing the strength of Z3's game plan of putting Jordan through Toho bullet hell, which Jordan has been playing through very well. Honestly, if Jordan is a streamer, would love to watch Jordan stream some Toho. I feel like they do very well.
Undertale on like the hardest mode.
Right.
Could probably speed run the Sans fight.
Just the way that they're able to consistently dodge most of these projectiles where they matter.
Well, and that's the key operative right there, is where it matters, because I think that Jordan's fine taking, like, you know, a weak hit far off boomerang. Oh my god, the confirms do not miss.
No, they don't.
This is the difference I think I see between Jordan and other good Warios. Z3 does finally get the first one on the board, but I see the damage output is what matters most as Wario. Right? It's good to mix up your opponents. You have great air drift for that. You can get in on people at times with that. But what's important is that you maximize what you get out of your hits. And Jordan has just done such a beautiful job of that.
And I think pulling out the half wafts now is crucial for that. Half waft being a move that is easier to actually combo into than full waft because it is faster. But you just have to know those percents. That's the hard part, is the knowledge.
And now the bite getting in the way of those projectiles. I like that Jordan's fine using that, especially when you're not in danger of getting launched off stage, you know, at these mid 60%. Wario's a real heavy guy. So unless you're getting corner pressured, you're not entirely too much at risk of going off stage and getting edge guarded.
Yeah, I love the down tilt and just retreat.
The patience from Jordan is just gorgeous. It's so beautiful to watch somebody be able to, like, be this close to the young Link, right? Push the limits of what's reactable, but still stay in that range where you go, all right, I can see that this is the boxing option you're going to choose, and I'm going to get out of the way. I mean, look at this. Towing the line, but Z3 still trying to dig deep. And at 162, you're right in confirm range to take this to the last stock. And
Z3 has found multiple confirms thus far. This time, really meaty hitboxes that up air. It's going to be difficult to get away from that as Wario. Z3 has found a couple more options to actually scrap and kind of projectile in as opposed to the typical projectile and backup that we see.
And that's very crucial to Young Link's game. We'll still live that dash attack with no rage, but game getting much harder to win here on Northern Cave. Not enough.
Oh, this is spooky.
I don't know why I was concerned for Jordan, because objectively, if I think about it, there's no way that he does. But I was still scared.
I was still scared of a situation where that, you know, that sets up for something else.
But I mean, end of the day, still maneuvered pretty well back onto the stage again. I think that it's part of the way that Jordan has had success is being very patient coming out of the corner where Z3 thrives so well, and then coming back from being off stage very aggressive, going for a lot of, like, you know, fastball air dodges, not as much like going to the ledge, because I think Jordan understands that that's just not where Young Link thrives as much, and you'll be able to, you know, mix up that game plan a little bit more.
Right. Honestly, off stage, if Young Link isn't able to nair to kill you, there's not a lot going on there. It's going to require a boomerang, bomb, or an arrow to get the KO, or just a read on your movement, in which case you got, and that's it. That's all there is that needs to be said.
But it's so hard to read Wario's movement.
It is very difficult, and Jordan is taking that strength of the character, and it's being amplified by the strength of the player of being able to utilize that tool, consistently mixing up the drift and where they're going.
And I mean, it's, as we get like right into this game, right? I mean, it's hyper patient from Jordan now, where Z3 is just kind of trying to twist his arm with all these projectiles and doing a much better job, I think, of predicting the places where Jordan can go, especially to open up a lot of the pressure, and is just racking on just a little bit of chip damage here and there, just assailing him from a distance. And you can see lead racking up really well, and maybe Jordan's got to find a way to get a little bit more aggressive, kind of dig to readjust the game plan.
And honestly, some of this, maybe a little bit more aggressive, or maybe just a moment to back up and recompose, because, you know, anyone who's played a Toho, a Bullet Hell, or even, you know, this resonates with like rhythm games. If you miss one hit, then you're just in for a landslide of pain until you just stop for a second and you're like, all right, I'm going to get back on this beat.
Jordan hears somebody say good and goes, what do you mean it's not excellent? Just like that nair from Z3. That was excellent. Perfectly timed.
Perfectly timed, placed, and immediately into the aggression. How did Jordan's invincibility already expire? What happened?
That's what I'm wondering. It's supposed to last for like 3 years in this game.
Yeah, and yet it felt like respawned and immediately into the hook shot. But
yeah.
Immediately back into this game is Jordan, taking that one from Z3 with a full waft on deck, taking some damage. 70s, you know, nothing to sneeze at, but also, you know, at the percents that we're seeing Young Link get these kills, and especially the stage positions, I feel like Jordan is relatively safe right now.
And we see Z3 making really good use of just retreating to that platform near the ledge, which is making it really hard for Jordan to approach her, and she can create that distance pretty easily, hop over Wario as well, and you can see Jordan's kind of trying to scout that out, right? Oh, you're going to try to go center stage back to that other platform? Let me try to stuff you, but not quite finding purchase with that yet.
Z3 finally catching the timing of that jump with that upping old boomerang. Oh, this could be big.
Very good tech there from Z3. That could have been the opening that Jordan needed to, I mean, pull off the great equalizer, right?
Right.
that was your way back into the game.
Yeah, way back a little bit ahead at this point. But now still playing heavy percent behind. It's still, finally getting that mix.
I love that down throw to set up on the platform. You don't get to do that on many stages. I think on Kalos you'd be too high to get it too. What DI as well.
Insane DI. Oh, great timing on that air dodge, but the nair comes through. You are not going to catch me air dodging, not catch me slipping, but there. Use that invincibility that I don't know where it went on the second stock. Get that falling up air, because normally it's very difficult to set up into, but now that you have the invincibility, free, right?
It's every time one of those claps tags Z3 with that full waft available. I mean, you're in those orange percents and then you just get squashed.
Yeah, absolutely gone. So now it's into the last stock, and now, you know, if Jordan has his way, is going to be hugging these platforms to farm another waft, but Z3 not looking super content to let that happen.
No, I mean, even if Wario is camping that platform to try to get that waft, I mean, Young Link still has plenty of tools available to press you up there. I think that one thing Jordan does like about that too is that opens up a couple more avenues of approach for you as Wario. I mean, do what you will, especially against Young Link, you do still kind of have to land on him from the air. And Z3, to her credit, has done such a great job of stuffing any of those angles that Wario can approach at. But, I mean, Jordan just inches closer. And now, I mean, I think half waft should be available right now.
It should be right about now, and also we're seeing that Jordan is finding the ins for these nairs, but needs to connect both hits to get anywhere with that move. And this DI in, catching Jordan, drifting, trying to get one of those nairs or trying to get something, you know, flying in over the projectiles. That's going to be a free confirm into the up air.
Yeah, and I think especially that worked out so well because Z3 was just, I mean, doing such a good job of mixing up where she was hurling those particular projectiles, just like a pitching machine over and over. But it's kind of an unfair pitching machine when you don't know when and what is going to come out of it.
Exactly.
Hit this watermelon, huh?
What? I was expecting a based ball. Here we are.
That's not what I wanted. I mean, we saw, I think, especially what led to that last kill is that where Jordan got hit by that fire arrow up top that led into that up air. Normally there was a boomerang there every single time, but in that situation, Z3 mixed it up, followed up that boomerang that was there right with that arrow. And I think she's starting to catch on a little bit to the fact that Jordan will kind of go to where a projectile is done going and immediately go into that zone.
Yes.
And say, right, there can't be a projectile there now, so this is a place that belongs to me now. It's safe.
Exactly, yeah. Once the boomerang starts like reeling back, jumping at that angle because you know nothing else covers there. But here we're seeing Z3 starting to make some adjustments, like even just charging the arrow to catch Jordan with the early air dodges on the way down.
Or even just like trying to wait out like a regular arrow, and then I land because that arrow is going to be done now.
And
but then you have a charged arrow and you eat even more.
There's so much mixed potential with this as young.
I'm actually amazed that down air reached all the way. I guess Jordan just didn't kind of respect that Z3 would choose to do something so risky. And once again, I mean, very similar to the way that Game 3 started, with Z3 getting off to a very early lead and Jordan just kind of not finding a way in. And the back air up smash, not going to do it on town, but still look at the damage.
Nair coming through again as a combo break, not letting Jordan get anything started. I feel it might be time to call in the great equalizer this early.
It's getting close to that point, too. I think at the 5-minute mark, you're about to get it. And honestly, with this rage and...
I mean, we're...
Oh, never mind.
Well, rage is gone. You're going to have to build that one back up before you want this half-waft to do what you want it to. Or you can just, the old-fashioned way, get some damage.
Just to land on it with the claps.
Again, that invincibility makes the landing up air so much easier to find.
Z3, she's just actually getting the pressure on. I really like the adjustment right there to say, all right, well, if you're going to land on top of me where the dead zone of that boomerang is, I got another thing coming for you.
Right, neutral air, great for that. Ooh. Has to slow the recovery because of the bike. Was an opportunity for Jordan to get the forward tilt, but just mistimed.
Y'all looked like he was bungee jumping there with that Zair. They got all the way up to
fair.
That's a great adjustment from Jordan. Knowing that last time Z3 went so low, was ready for that drift out fair, right? You don't want to get pressured by that again. So Jordan just immediately this time just with the little boot. The little curly-toed boot.
Small, elvish boot.
The elvish boot. They're taking Wario to Isengard.
Oh, no. I don't think he would last there.
He would eat all the Lembus immediately.
Which is...
You're not supposed to do that.
He would get so large so fast.
How many did you eat? 4.
I ate all of the Limbus.
I ate all the Limbus. Needed more garlic. Ooh! And needed a little bit more butter on that down B. Needed to cook it a little while longer because now Z3 gets to breathe a sigh of relief. Ortho not quite going to do it, but she is poised to take the lead in Game 4.
Yeah, absolutely. After that whiff, now you know you've got quite a bit of time for even a half-waft to come back through. So this is a stock that you can pretty safely hold on to for quite a while.
I don't know if Z3 is getting impatient or is just trying to go for that no mix-up. Sometimes with all these drift-in downers, I mean, theoretically, without the waft,
I could tell you
able to.
Exactly what it is, and that is exactly that is just one of Z3's top 5 favorite moves.
That's true.
After watching quite a bit of Z3, I think the moves are
all the B moves
in no particular order. Side B, boomerang, arrow, bomb, and then it's nair and down air.
Yeah.
Those are the top 5 favorite moves.
Probably what you should be using a lot of as Young Link too, but
yeah.
I mean, now the question is, how do you connect it into a kill? You're starting to lose a lot of your confirms. You need like a stray hit. I mean, forward throw will be able to do it at this point.
As you say.
Probably what she was looking for without a confirm available, and does find it. But now, I mean, you're right back to an even game the moment that Jordan takes the stock, because half waft will be available for the end of the game, if not full.
Right. I mean, we've been working on this waft for quite a while after that one whiff.
It's cooking longer than Ninja's Smash thing.
Hopefully, something that smells a little bit nicer after it's been cooking that long. I don't know.
Ooh. Not going to smell real nice coming out of Jordan, but might not even get to see it this game the way that Z3 is moving. And I mean, when she gets control of the pace of the game, it's hard to take it away from her. But there is Jordan taking it to last stock. I can hear Louisiana getting louder.
Oh, and loud they are to begin with. So getting louder, I am worried for Z3. But Z3 is also no stranger to adversive crowds. So,
oh my gosh, that bike almost led to a tech chase, and you can... Oh my gosh, almost guaranteed that's stock.
Wario
that killed her against Skits, and she went for it anyways. The mad woman, she is in the zone. Fearless.
Yeah, fearless, and you require that fearless, that trait, that, you know, the Triforce of Courage is coming through very, very importantly, because you cannot let that get in your head with the situation that Wario can reversal me and just win the set right now.
Yeah.
And I have to mention, we're going to a Game 5. I think this deep into the bracket, the stamina that's required to even get here is insane. But also I feel like the longer that the set goes on, the more it favors Z3's playstyle. The more it just favors... Z3 is used to doing this all bracket for very long brackets. An opponent gets to deal with this one set per bracket.
Yep.
And they get tilted out of their minds.
I mean, Jordan was doing a very good job of playing those cards patiently, right? Not getting too aggressive and playing around the projectiles really beautifully. But yeah, you have to wonder how that's going to weigh on over 5 games, right? If you won that game 3, different story. You get to save a lot of that stamina. But I mean, God, it's 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
And you got to play against this.
It is late. You were up 2-0. Multiple games that you were this close to taking. And now you got one more game on a big old stage. Projectiles are flying at you. You just want to go to bed, and you know you've still got a long car ride home to Louisiana.
And a long bracket ahead of you if you want to win.
Exactly. This is still just winner semis.
Yeah. I mean, we're into top 8, but got to win at least a couple more sets. And Jordan, missing a couple of opportunities for punishes that, I mean, he was just hitting them on the screws every single time in those first 2 games.
Yeah, I feel like the first big shifting point was the missed full waft combo that really kind of threw Z3 very far ahead in the game 3, I think they had.
Yeah. It definitely felt like it swung. I think it was game 4, actually.
Might have been game 4.
It definitely felt like it swung a lot of the momentum into Z3's favor, where now Jordan, I mean, you know, the patience is still there to a degree, but it's not as all present as it was before. I mean, this game is at least a little bit faster paced.
Z3 has also made it more difficult for Jordan to just turn off brain and jump around the projectiles, because Z3 has started to mix in the, you know, jump in fair, the nair aggressive stuff. But now Jordan catching some of that and is able to get Z3 off stage because of it. Get that forward air. This could be big. Wait for a dodge, but it doesn't come.
Yeah, very smart by Z3 to know as long as you double jump out of that situation, Wario can never get the big confirm. And another whiff. She actually got the tech on the platform,
Crucial.
Which probably would not have been available in a different situation.
Right. I mean, that was just perfect percent for Z3 to have the opportunity to tech. You know, any extra percent, it would have been too high.
Speaking of too high on the percents, it's 179 on Jordan, and this always seems to happen at least one stock out of every game that Z3's been playing. It doesn't pull the trigger on a grab right there, knowing that that could have been the end of her stock. And this is Jordan just understanding that win condition, right? If I'm up on that platform, it's very hard for you to challenge me. And being in the air in that sort of center part of the stage is where Z3's going to be able to do the most damage. But the roll-in gets caught. This is a big opening for Jordan.
It is. We do see Z3 use the boomerang to drift back a little bit, but calls out the jump and a really deep forward air. Jordan taking a big lead in this game 5.
Doing it both of those stocks in the exact same way. Catching that drift back, fearing that low Wario edge guard that got Z3 once in that earlier game. Now he's gone for that long horizontal edge guard and killed her twice for it. And now, again, gets to play that distance game. Waft will be available at the end. And not only that, I mean, again, Z3's been routinely closing out these stocks at, like, you know, 150, 160, and you're not particularly close to that yet.
All right, my question, you know, once is an isolated incident, twice is a coincidence. Are we going to see a pattern
3
start
times
to develop?
is a pattern, yeah.
You know?
Ooh, big whiff on the boomerang, and that is a great chase there by Jordan. The patience on the juggle, and now it's building.
And the parry? Immediately ready for these down airs. Now Z3's done like 2 in a row. which is, you know, 2 is not a lot, but it is a lot for doing that move twice in a row.
If I had a nickel for every time.
Somebody consecutively down air.
It's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah.
Wario sets up the tech chase. I think he won a dash attack.
Maybe, or maybe even just not reacting in that situation and trying to cover a tech in place.
Well, and we're seeing a lot of landing boomerangs from Z3, which is something she has been killed for at this point a couple of times in this game.
What happened?
Lots of I have no idea what happened, but Z3 drops the punish.
Jordan not close enough to do anything, but
Oh!
it gets a little bit antsy.
Ryan, it's game 5 at 1:30 in the morning. I feel like the pressure's starting to get to both of them a little
Yeah,
bit.
pressure's starting to spill out of Wario. He's an Italian man. He is close to the spaghetti.
you don't want garlic spaghetti. You want a sweet garlic pie.
I'll take a garlic spaghetti.
I will.
I would right now.
Not if I'm playing right now, though.
No, somebody feed me garlic spaghetti.
You had garlic pizza earlier today anyway. It's fine. Oh, big damage? Wait a second. Z3's not out of this just yet.
Honestly, this is as long as you're careful about waft, you know, hugging these corners.
Ooh.
Hugging these corners is dangerous, though. You're giving yourself opportunities to get forward aired.
Oh, I love the retreat right there, although going to ledge was very scary. Jordan, I mean, knows that, right? It's one aerial away from a win, but Z3 with the chase on the platform.
Really meaty down air. Tries to throw out the grab as a bait because the boomerang's coming back.
Oh,
and that's
the half loft!
The
Jordan
pop off.
Popping off as you should after such an intense Game 5 set to move on to winners finals of the biggest Shockwave that we've seen in years. I mean, what a grind. Heartbreaking for C3 when you were just on the brink of bringing that all back. But Jordan staves off the reverse 3-0, triumphs one step closer to this old thing.
One step closer to the Europe.
The gyro.
The gyro of Rob.
I know Wario is Italian,
Small
but come
bit.
on.
I had to at least bring it back one time.
That's called a callback,
That is a
folks.
callback.
And it's
much
an expert
like
maneuver.
Wario's punish, Jordan's punish at the end was a callback to earlier in the set in which we finally find real answers to that down air. Z3's favorite move. I think it's top 1. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of other moves that come out more frequently.
It's definitely the highest of all the A moves.
Yes.
For sure. I know that there are younglings that like the nair a lot more than the down air.
As they do.
Boy, she loves that down air,
She
though.
does love the down air.
Yeah.
Realistically, I feel like it's at least top 3 guaranteed because there's no reason for that A move to be used that much if it's not your top 3 favorite moves.
She probably likes it more than bomb, I think.
I think so.
I personally think it's boomerang number 1 uncontested.
Arrow I could see as number 2.
I think it's arrow
I
number
could see
2
as
and
number
then
2.
down. I mean, we could also just ask her.
We could. But
What's your
some of
favorite
it,
youngling move?
some of it is a mental thing that you're not keeping track of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know this is my favorite move, but I sure do use it a lot, don't I, huh?